Hello everyone, my name is Dale and today we're going to be taking a look at how to tame up the Iguanodon. So over to the facts and details of the Iguanodon, guys. This creature is indeed grouped as a dinosaur. The diet of the Iguanodon is actually herbivore, and the temperament is a new one that we've not seen before. It is actually reactive, and what reactive means is the Iguanodon as a creature, as an individual creature, will keep an eye on the player's movements, what the player is doing, what's in the player's hands in terms of weaponry or food or whatever, and it will actually react depending on how you behave around the creature. So right now, for example, I've got nothing equipped in my hand. I am not a threat to this guy whatsoever at all. However, if I was to get my bow out and start shooting around it, it would probably start getting a little bit aggressive if I was to do that too close to the creature, of which I'm not going to do because obviously we want to tame up this puppy and not aggravate it. So, is the Iguanodon a tameable creature? The answer is yes. Is it rideable? It certainly is. And is the Iguanodon breedable? It certainly is. And does it take poos? It certainly does. So the taming method for the Iguanodon is indeed the knockout method. We will have to knock this puppy out eventually, which of course means that the Iguanodon is not torpor immune. And the preferred kibble for the Iguanodon is actually the simple kibble, which is the one up from basic, I do believe. And the preferred food of choice is actually conflicted online. There are areas online where it actually states that the preferred food of choice is crops. However, in my experience, the preferred food has actually been major berries. So it will indeed be major berries that we use to tame this guy up today. So when you come to taming up the Iguanodon, guys, you're going to need to make sure you craft up a couple of items before you get started. First things first, you're going to need to craft yourself a bowler. I would recommend to grab at least 2 to 3 of these. So once you've got your bowlers crafted, go ahead and pop them in your inventory. And then you're obviously going to need either the club, which is quite the primitive weapon at this point in the game. So I'm going to be using a crossbow and some narcotic arrows to make this a little bit easier for me. And I'm actually going to need to craft a few more of these up. I'd recommend grabbing at least 20 of these, depending on the level of the creature. You may need even up to 100. Just to make sure that you're not going to run out mid-tame. Alright, now that I've crafted up some extra arrows, the very last thing that you're of course going to need to grab yourself is something to fire those arrows, and that is either going to be the crossbow like I've done here, or you can craft a bow, which will work just the same. If you haven't quite gotten to the metal stages of the game yet, you can go ahead and use a bow. However, just bear in mind that it will take you a few more shots with the bow to knock it out than it will a crossbow, as the crossbow outputs more damage and so scales with the tranquilizing arrow as well. So, as mentioned previously, I'm going to be using major berries. I've got 98, but if you don't know how to acquire major berries, come up to a bush or anything like that, go ahead and harvest it like so. And you've noticed I've already grabbed 4 extra, so I've got 102 in my inventory now as well. So I'm just going to be using those. And the very last thing may not be necessary, but you may need to craft yourself some narcotics, especially if you're going for the extremely higher level dinos like the 120s. I know that guy over there is actually a level 96, so I might try and tame him up after this. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to tame up this one right here. So to get started with this then, guys, you're just going to want to make sure that if you're quite close to your base, like I'm quite close to my base here, you're just going to want to make sure that in the vicinity that your dinos are on passive, because this guy may attack you whilst you're taming it. And so you don't want your dinos to jump in and kill it, obviously, because that would be a very bad pack of noodles right there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my bowler and I'm going to swing it to prepare the speed, and then I'm going to back up quite nicely. And I'm going to throw it and then very quickly change to my change to my crossbow, and then start shooting it with the crossbow. Straight over to number 5. He's bowlered out. I'm going to start shooting him. And if you get him in the head, it will deal more damage, so you do have to be careful, but it will also increase how fast he gets knocked out as well. So now that this guy is actually knocked out, it was relatively easy. I have got slightly different settings on this particular save, but if you've got similar settings to myself, which you can find in the cards up above, it shouldn't take you too long to knock out a level 32. So after you've got this guy knocked out, go ahead and place the major berries or whatever food that you're using in his inventory. He's going to tame up relatively quickly when he's a low level, and it's obviously going to link up to the taming settings that you've got. But otherwise, we're just going to go and wait for this guy to tame up. Lovely, and the Iguanodon has tamed up. I'm going to just call her Izzy. Alright guys, so crafting the Iguanodon saddle. First things first, you're going to want to go into the engrams list by pressing V and then clicking on the engram points button there. If you just type in Iguanodon, it'll be quite a little bit quicker to find it, and you can just find it here. 12 engram points and 30 levels is what you need to have on your player to be able to get this guy. And it's just 50 fiber, 80 hide, and 15 wood. to do this. So I'm going to double click on the Iguanodon saddle, and it looks like I should be able to craft this just in my inventory. If I type in IG there, lovely stuff like so. Iguanodon saddle. I actually just need 80 hide. I'll go ahead and tell you guys how to grab these materials shortly. So the first material for the Iguanodon saddle is going to be fiber, and you can grab that by simply, if you've got a sickle or even just with your hands, you can actually just go ahead and find a bush like this one over here and swing your sickle and it'll collect simply fiber. Or if you don't have a sickle just yet, go up to the bush and start harvesting it as normal. And over on the left hand side of the screen, you see there 7 fiber, 9 fiber. It's a little bit slower, of course, but you will get fiber that way as well. To gather hide, you just need to kill a creature and harvest its body with a hatchet. It can be a stone hatchet or a metal hatchet. It's completely up to you, and it will harvest the hide that you need for that. And of course, to get the wood, you just need to go up to a tree. It can be one of the trees on the beaches or any tree in a forested area. Again, with the hatchet, swing the hatchet toward the tree, and you will harvest the wood from the tree. So, pressing V on a keyboard, and I'm just going to type in IG again to get the Iguanodon saddle. It's highlighted in white, so I can go ahead and craft it. I'm going to hold E to do that, just like so. And it's going to craft up, and we can equip this to the Iguanodon. And now that you've crafted it, go ahead and access your Iguanodon's inventory. Iguanodon saddle, click and drag the saddle over, and bish bash bosh. Iguanodon has been saddled up and ready to ride. All right, so to ride this creature then, head up to the Iguanodon and press E, and you will jump on the saddle like so. Looking around is the exact same as any other creature, and WASD to move forward, backward, left and right. Left and right obviously doesn't work, it's just a forward and backward motion, like so. And shift to sprint, and this guy, you will notice the stamina in the top right corner of the screen. His stamina does not go down when he is on all fours. Very, very handy feature. So, what else can the Iguanodon do in terms of traveling? You've got it, it can go on its back 2 legs. If you press the right click on your mouse, it will go onto the back 2 legs, and you can move around as normal, I suppose. Just bearing in mind that if you sprint, this will now start using stamina. You can see in the top right, stamina bar is flashing. So if you don't want to use stamina and you want to travel a little bit quicker, you can actually drop down onto all fours to take it off its back 2 legs, again by pressing right click. And this can be done mid-sprint if you want to. Just like so. And you'll notice I sped up and went down onto all fours, and stamina recovered and stopped being used. So all 4 travel for the Iguanodon is actually far superior than just traveling on its back 2 legs. So when it comes to attacking anything with the Iguanodon as your dino of choice, it's a very simple creature when it comes to attacking. Obviously, left click being attack. It stabs its thumb things, I suppose, them little claws that you can see at the front of it there. It just stabs those forwards, job done, jab, jab, and that is it. And it actually takes you onto your back 2 legs, so just bear that in mind. You're right in the middle of a scrap with another dinosaur. If you don't want to be losing stamina when moving around, you're going to have to drop it down before traveling if you're sprinting away from a creature, so just bear that in mind. So obviously, beyond walking around and running around, what can the Iguanodon do? So the first brilliant use of the Iguanodon is indeed as a bit of a pack animal. So with it having no stamina drain when it's on all fours, if you go into the statistics and level up the hell out of its weight, you will of course increase how much you can carry, meaning that you can seriously travel some long distances pretty quickly with a full inventory of stuff. So another absolutely excellent use of the Iguanodon is that any fruit that it harvests or any berries that it harvests, it can actually turn all of them into seeds of the relevant description and kind. So for example, I've just gone and harvested a load of Amar berries, Azul berries, Majos, Narcos, Stims, and Tinto berries as well. And if I hop off my dino, hold down E, instead of just pressing it, I'm going to hold down E and access its sort of cogwheel, if you will. And if I go to seed fruit in inventory and I just let go or click it, just like so, all of the seeds that are in his inventory have actually just turned into the relevant seed ready for farming. An absolutely fantastic use if you want to set up a really big farm for your seeds and fruit. And of course, the last thing that this guy is absolutely fantastic at is harvesting certain materials. So on the screen now, you'll see a very brief list of what this guy can harvest. Starting off with biotoxin, which is quite an interesting one. But on the island, it's somewhat useless because we don't have the certain thing that we need to be able to harvest the biotoxin. And you're obviously not going to take this guy out deep into the ocean to harvest it from the jellyfish. Beyond that, it's obviously going to be a 5-star on biotoxin, 3-star berry harvester, 3-star thatch harvester, and then finishing off on a 2-star wood harvester as well. So that's going to be it for today, guys. My name is Dale from Inception Gaming. Drop a like if you enjoyed, comment down below what you want me to see next, or if you have any questions, and of course don't forget to subscribe and ding the little notification bell so that you don't miss the next video. Uploading daily, whether it's a short, a live stream, or a video now, so there's always something new to come back to on a daily basis. Guys, my name is Dale once again from Inception Gaming. I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.